about the items in this catalog. It won't be today, but I will be doing that. I'm still trying to get my computer to come up here, and here we go. Let's see here. Waiting to see what it looks like. I probably need to turn my phone. And all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn that. All right, so this is a Yep, there we go. This is a 2-step stamp set. You can see there's a more detailed image here, and this is more of a shading image right here. And thanks, Mom, for letting me know that. And you'll see there's a detailed leaf here and a shaded leaf here, and there are these smaller blossoms here in this stamp set. Hey, Margaret. Okay, so let's get started, and I'm going to show you, first of all, well, let's talk about that in a minute. The first card I'm going to start with is just a simple stamp, ink, and paper card, because I want to show you how to use this, line your stamps up for this. So I'm bringing in my trimmer, and I've got the thick basic white cardstock, and I am going to cut this at 4 1/4, which is half of the sheet of paper. And then I've already scored this at 5 1/2. So you actually get 2 cards out of 1 sheet of paper. I'm going to bring in my bone folder. Oh, thank you, Margaret. I'm going to bring in my bone folder and score this like this. Okay, so I'm going to take my leaf that is not the detailed leaf. This is like the fill-in leaf. And I'm going to make my background with that. Hey, Teresa. Good morning. Nice to see you here this morning. And I'm using the soft sea foam because it's very light. And I'm also going to bring in a piece of scrap paper to put under my card for stamping off. And I'm going to go around, I think I want it this way. I'm going to stamp this leaf off so it's really light, just for a background. And I need to bring in my piercing mat. I know I brought that over here. Here it is. Okay, photopolymer stamps stamp better if they're on matte, or even you can even use a catalog if you want. And I'm just gonna randomly stamp on the front of this, just to give it a little bit of background interest. And I'm stamping off before I stamp. I'll do one here. Okay, now to make kind of a frame, I'm going to go around the edge without stamping off. Just like this. The reason I was having problems with my computer, it says there was an update. Dell updated something. Thank you very much. And I'm just turning my card as I go, trying to turn the stamps too so it's not all the same. Okay, so now we have this kind of little leaf frame here, and we also have the light background. So I'm going to take my Dahlias stamp. I'm going to take the one that's more intricate. And you can see I've marked with a pen on the other side of this because I want to be able to line up this stamp where, so it's about the same on the Dahlia, where the same design is. And I'm going to ink this up in, I'm going to use the light color first. And actually, I'm going to use Highland. Nope, I'm going to use Fresh Freesia. I'm starting with Fresh Freesia, Margaret. The leaves were with a soft sea foam. And I'm inking it up on my pad here. Now, I'm going to notice where this dot is when I stamp, okay? So it's right here, it's at the bottom. So when I come in with my other stamp, I can line up the dot on that with this. And it does take a little bit of time to figure out, to look at it and figure out where they line up, but you'll see some of the leaves bend a certain way, and it's kind of easy to tell that way. Okay, so there's that one. And I'm going to bring in a mask that I made. I just stamped this stamp on a Post-it note. Okay, so I'm going to lay this over this one. And again, there's one little leaf that kind of sticks way out and curls to the left, and that's here. So I'm going to line that up and cover this so I can stamp my next flower. And I'm using the Fresh Freesia. All right, my dot is at the bottom again. And I could use, this is a good stamp set to use the Stamparatus with, but since a lot of people don't have a Stamparatus, I want to show you how to do it without it. And you need a good pad under here to do that. All right. So I've used this for both flowers. Now I'm going to come in with the darker, blurrier that flower that adds the color. That was the more detailed one that we just used. And I'm going to bring in Highland Heather. So I started with Polished Pink, and now I'm going to use Highland Heather. And I'm inking this stamp up, and this is a distinctive stamp. You can see all the beautiful dark and light places on the stamp. Now, remembering that my dot was at the bottom, I'm going to put this dot towards the bottom too, and I see this little leaf here that kind of sticks out. I'm going to line that, it's right there, and I'm going to line that up with my stamp. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp over that. Okay, so that's what it comes out with, like that. Now, if you want to, you could go in with a marker. I think I might do that again, ink over that again, and just move it a little bit over to color some of that in a little more. And I'm just gonna, because this doesn't really have to be exact. I used to grow dinner plate dahlias, and they are just beautiful. Okay, so you see that's the image we have for that one. And I'm gonna take my mask off here, if I can get it up. And I'm gonna ink this up again in the Highland Heather. Notice where my dot is, and there's this leaf that sticks out, or the petal that sticks out on the side there. Let's see if I can line this up while looking over my phone. Okay, and then if I want that a little darker, I kind of like this bottom one darker, and this is a little lighter here. If you want to, you could come in like with a yellow and do highlights here, or even a softer pink. I'm going to try a softer pink. I'm just looking for my color that I want. Actually, this is a light calypso coral. Let's see what this looks like. So if you want to just go from the center out like this and add some highlights to it, that's pretty, except don't get outside the line like I just did there. And I wouldn't do all of the light spaces. I would just add it to some of them. I've grown dahlias. Have any of you grown dahlias before? And then you dig the tubers up in the fall. And they really are such a beautiful flower. My favorites are the dinner table ones, or dinner plate dahlias. And this would be pretty too with a yellow in it. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp the sentiment on the front, either here or up here. Let's go with thank you kindly. I want to make sure this is lined up. Very simple, all just ink and paper. And thank you kindly. And then for the inside piece, I always put an inside piece in my cards. I'll go ahead and stamp a dahlia down in the corner here. And I'm just going to use, I'm going to see what it looks like with just the fill-in color flower, not the detailed flower. Because you could just use them alone. Let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. Isn't that pretty? In fact, I almost like it better than using the detailed part with it. And I'll come in and just add a little touches of the calypso coral in the middle here. Like that. Okay, and that'll go on our inside. The sun's just a shining here today. It's just beautiful. Okay, so this is a pretty thank you card. That's card number 1. And let's go on to card number 2. I have 3 cards to share with you today. And card number 2, we're going to start with a piece of, our artistic piece is basic white. It's 4 1/4 by 3 3/4. And I'm going to bring that in. And I am using Bumblebee to stamp the flower outline. And we're going to fill it in with Pale Papaya. Yes, it is about time. Okay, so notice my dot. Be aware of where your dot is, okay? And I'm going to stamp it right here. So my dot is up here. I'm going to stamp another one in the left corner. Down here, my dot is still up. Okay, and that's a Bumblebee. I'm going to fill that in with Pale Papaya. Wipe my stamp off, or my stamp that I just used with the lavender and purple. Okay, so this was towards the top. And this is going to go like this. It looks about right. That's a cool color. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm lining it up. I'm really, watch, this is the main little petal I'm lining everything up with. Plus where the dot is on my stamp. Okay, you could fill in like with a yellow here, or I'm just going to leave it actually. All right, I'm going to bring my leaves in. Well, I'm going to bring my mask in first, and I have 2 dahlia masks. I've got this one, and that is going to go on here. And if you use a Post-it to make these, stamp on the Post-it. It's nice because there's sticky stuff on the back to help hold it on there. I know yellow is just so nice and sunny. Okay, so this one is gonna go like that. And let's stamp a few leaves. And again, I'm using Pale Papaya for these leaves. I want them a little darker. I've got that one. I need to get my detailed one out of the stamp case. Okay, so here's the detailed one. I'm just going to push that down, stamp that over that. I think I want one going this way. Oops, I moved that a tiny bit. And one going this way. And we'll do one like this. Okay, so that protects our flowers. And now I'm going to come in and fill that in. And again, I'm using Pale Papaya. I'm using the same, but you could change it up to a lighter or darker, probably lighter color. Okay. my Sweet Notes Card Club sign up is until August 11th. And that is, you get the supplies to make 8 cards, 4 different designs, $20 worth of supplies, envelopes, the insides of your cards, and priority shipping for $40. And this month's card club features the Beauty of the Earth, or no, Beauty of Friendship. I always say Beauty of the Earth, which is this one for August. If you're interested in that, shoot me an email or message me. Okay, so we have our little piece done here, and I'm bringing in a piece of basic black, and this is just a little bit wider than this. This piece is 4 3/8 by 3 7/8, and if you miss the measurements and supplies, I will be posting them below this Facebook post, and I will also be posting them if you watch it in at my YouTube channel. They will be in the description there also. And everything will be there. The item numbers, there'll be a link to shop if you want to purchase them. Okay, so that's gonna lay on that like that. And I'm bringing in a piece of Pale Papaya. And this is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Move this out because I'm done with that. All right, and I'm going to lay a piece of Designer Series paper on the end here. Okay, this is from the Pattern Party Designer Series paper. It is in the back of the annual catalog. It is a hostess benefit, and it's beautiful. It has a lot of different patterns in it, but this is my favorite, the buffalo check, the black, and it goes with so many different things. All right, so I'm going to put it all the way over to the end here. And it should be the same, it should be centered. So you have the same amount width at the bottom and the top. And then this piece here, we're going to take some of that black organdy ribbon and do a little faux ribbon on that. And I've got about probably an 8-inch piece here, and I need something round here. I'm going to wrap it around the end of this towards one end of it, which is where we want our bow. Make a knot and pull this off. I'm going to cut this loop, and this is going to be my little fake bow, and pull those tails. I'm going to take this, and I want it to be about here on my card, and probably over on the edge here. I'm going to run tape runner on the back of this, just in those spots where I want my ribbon to come over. Fold that around. Just like that. And that looks crooked. There, that looks pretty straight. And I'm using my Seal Plus. Okay. And this is going to slide over the edge of this. And you want the end of this artist piece to be at the very end of your card and at the same time line up with your DSP. So like that. I want this up a little bit. Now I'm going to use the double oval punch. It has a background piece and a sentiment punch. So I'm going to punch my background out of the buffalo check pattern. And I'm going to punch my little sentiment. Actually, I'll stamp the sentiment first. I'll use Memento Black for this. And how about Thank You Kindly? If you're watching and you didn't know that we have mystery stamping on Monday evenings, we'd love to have you join for that. We have a lot of fun, and it's always amazing to see how different everyone's cards are. Okay, and I'm going to use dimensionals on the back of this. I'm going to close this up before I get into that. Oh, thanks, Mom. I love my mom. She's a gem. Okay, so we've got our Thank You Kindly. And I'm just going to glue this onto this. I'm going to put it right here over the ribbon. And I'm using the multi-purpose liquid glue, which is very, very sticky, as you know. I'm going to hold that a minute. And I'm going to use a couple of the new In Color gems on this. I think the papaya. So we'll put one down here, one here, and one up here. And now I'm going to just do stamp a dahlia for the inside piece. And again, I'm coming in with a bumblebee yellow. My dot is up there. This would be pretty filled in with the Daffodil Delight too. I'm using the bumblebee for the Pale Papaya, but it would be really pretty with the Daffodil Delight in the center too. Okay, so I've marked the X and I know it's going to be up, and there's that funny little petal that's sticking around, curved around. And I didn't stamp on a cushion, so let's hope it comes out okay. Thank you, Missy. Okay, So there's that. And this is going to be, do a little seal on the inside piece. This is a great time to join Stampin' Up. There's an awesome incentive. You get the kit for $125 worth of product for $99, which is awesome in itself, plus free shipping. But you also get these beautiful bundles that are free if you join. There's a list of them that includes a punch and stamp set or punch and dies, and I'll do a little blurb about them and show you so people know what they are. And then we have team time when we once a month, and we make things together. And I would love to have you join my team if that's anything you're interested in. And then if you're just a hobby demonstrator, that's cool, because then you get 20% off on your supplies, and you don't have to do the business. You can if you want to. So if you're interested in that, let me know. All right, so our second card is done. And the third card is my favorite. Can't wait to show you this card. Okay, this is a Fun Fold Overlay card. And I am using a Poppy Parade cardstock base. This is 5 1/4 by 5 1/2. And on the 5 1/4 inch side, we are going to score this at 4 1/4. So this is the 5 1/4 inch side. So I'm going to put it at 4 1/4 here on my trimmer. And let me move this over so you can see it better. So you have two blades. This is a scoring blade. This is the cutting blade. We don't want to cut it right now. We're going to score it. So I'm going to use this, and I'm just going to score down that like that. And I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm going to give this a good burnish. I think I'll do it this way too to help break those fibers down. Okay, now I have a piece of Poppy Parade that's 4 by 4. And I have a piece of basic white that's 3 by 3 3/4. And this is going to be our artistic piece. So this is a piece I'm going to do the stamping on. And I'm going to bring my little mat in again because we're using a photopolymer stamp set. And I'm going to use Poppy Parade and Calypso Coral to make this dahlia. So I'm going to stamp the detailed stamp, in Calypso Coral. Okay, so I'm going to put my dot up so I know about where I need to put the other stamp, the overlay, the second stamp of the 2-step stamping. Uh-oh, am I still frozen? I hope not. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to come in with fill-in color with Poppy Parade. So that was Calypso Coral. Now I'm using Poppy Parade. Okay, am I unfrozen? I hope I am. All right, so my mark on my stamp is up here. So I know I've got that curvy petal, which is right there. I'm going to line this up with that. Gotta stand up to see this. Oh. Let's see if this looks about right. Okay, isn't that pretty? Pretty, pretty. Now, I'm going to bring in my So Saffron Stampin' Blend marker, and I'm just going to add a little yellow. It's really pretty with just a little yellow in it. I'm going to start in the center here, and it makes it kind of orangish. I don't want to fill in all the white, but some of it. Isn't that pretty? Just with that little dab of ink. Yeah, my stamping was off just a tiny bit, but it still is pretty with a second stamp. I want a little yellow there. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so we need to do some leaves. So again, I'm bringing in a mask. This is stamped on a piece of Post-it paper and just cut out. And this little curvy leaf, there's only one like it, and that is going to go right over that. Okay, and now my leaves, I'm going to do in Pear Pizzazz, and I'm just going to do the, not the detailed leaf, this is the one that's less detailed. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, I like that. And we're going to put this one up here, like that. All right. So we're going to adhere this piece to the 4x4 piece of Poppy Parade that we have, which is right here. Now, when you put this on this, you want to put it down towards the bottom like this, because this part is going to be adhered into the card. So we're going to lay it towards the bottom of that piece. All right. So right about there. I'm going to bring this piece in, and I'm going to use that same buffalo check DSP. It's 5 1/4 by 4. It's going to be on the inside there. Sometimes the Stampin' Seal needs a little bit of encouragement. I've gotten used to it, and I really like it. It adheres well, and you can even, what I like too is that you can actually move it. When you first put it down, if you don't like it, usually I can move it. All right, so this is going to go on the inside here. Whoops. Just like this. Okay. Now I'm going to take a piece of tear and tape, and I'm going to run it across here. Tear and tape is an adhesive that's got a really strong hold. And I would say it's probably our strongest adhesive. It has a layer on here that you pull off, a paper layer, and I don't have my take your pick tool over here. to get it started good. There we go. All right, and I'm using a piece of this. This is probably my favorite ribbon. This is the glittered organdy ribbon. And it's about 24 inches long. So I wanted to make sure it was long enough. And I'm gonna put it so it's about even on both ends. I want the shiny side up. I'm gonna lay it right across that, like that. And then I'm gonna lay a couple pieces of tearing tape on this side here, because I'm gonna tie a ribbon or a bow across the top. I'm gonna pull it across the top and tie a bow. Okay. So I'm just gonna take it like this and lay it across there. And take this one, lay it across here like this. And then tie a bow. I'm doing left over right. I'm gonna pull that straight up and down, do my loops. Like that. And just trim these up a little bit. Okay, actually I want this over more. It wasn't quite centered. That's better. Okay, so now we're going to tuck this up here like this. And I'm just actually going to use a piece of tearing tape on this also, because I know it will hold it strong, and this card people are going to be opening this one little flap. So I'm going to run this across there. I'm going to put this up here, and you want your bottom here to be even with this, and you want it centered. So I've got to go over a little bit. That looks about right. And I'm just going to press this down. Now I have a little 3x3 piece of basic white I'm going to put in here. I'm not going to stamp on it because this is just going to be a note card, and I want room to be able to write a little note, how are you, or whatever. And this is, I'm planning on doing a weekly stamping class or Facebook Live on Wednesdays. Now next week I have to go to the dreaded dentist, so I will do a video in advance. It won't be live next week. All right, so there's our card. So we've got these 3 cards, and I'll probably do more cards this week because this is my featured stamp set of the week. This is the SIP card, stamps, ink, and paper. And I think I would prefer it with yellow rather than, I think this was Calypso Coral, but it's okay. And this card Features this beautiful paper, the pattern party. This is free to hostesses, so if you're interested in hosting an online party, let me know. This is one of the things that you can get free. And this card here. And I think we need some bling on this. So let's see. I'm going to use the Pale Papaya again. Do a couple up here like that. Oh, that came loose. Huh. Interesting. All right, so I'm going to add some glue to that and hold that down. It's probably because of the ribbon. So what I'm going to do is put it right on the edge of this cardstock. It probably didn't adhere well to the ribbon. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you so much. Actually, I'll add it to the top of this, and then I don't need to worry about putting it somewhere where it shouldn't be on the other layer. There. Okay, so I hope you have a good rest of the week, and thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Margaret, and enjoy this beautiful day. Take care.